Reasons why cars overheat. So today I'm going to talk about 7 unique reasons that can result into your car overheating. And reason number 1 is coolant leaks via steam. Coolant leaks via steam is usually common with people who use water instead of coolant in their system. And that is because water has a very lower boiling point compared to coolant. So what happens if maybe there is a crack in one of your hoses, or maybe your radiator cap is loose? When water hits its boiling point, it will now start escaping as vapor. So you'll always be seeing that the coolant levels or the water levels are going down, yet there are no visible coolant leaks. That is because water is escaping in the form of steam. You cannot see it. Now, how do you go about solving this one? I did a video comparing between water versus coolant in my social media handles. So to solve this one, always ensure that you use coolant instead of water. Okay? Now on to number 2, a faulty thermostat. A thermostat is what regulates and it opens up to allow the hot water or the hot coolant from the engine to flow through to the radiator. It gets cooled and then it flows back to the engine. So if your thermostat is faulty, it simply means that it will not open to allow the hot coolant flow to the radiator for cooling. And I've also done a video about how a thermostat works and how to go about fixing a faulty thermostat. By the way, on my other social media handles other than YouTube, I go by the name Follow KE. So you can check out the videos. At least you'll have an in-depth understanding about how to go about a faulty thermostat. And what do you do about it when you have a faulty thermostat? Always consider replacing it. Do not remove the thermostat. Now on to number 3, a faulty water pump. A water pump is what is responsible for the proper circulation of the coolant in the system. It ensures that the coolant is well pumped to go to the engine, it cools the engine, back to the radiator for cooling, and the cycle continues. So if your water pump is faulty, it simply means that it is hindering proper circulation of the coolant in the system, and now that will result into overheating. So how do you go about a faulty water pump? Just once again, I've also done a video about how a water pump works and how to go about a faulty water pump on my social media handles. So kindly go check it out. So if you have a faulty water pump, replace the water pump, and now you'll solve the issue of overheating. Now, number 4, clogged radiator or hoses. What results into clogging of the radiator or hoses? It's due to corrosion. And this one is as a result of using water instead of coolant in your cooling system. Now, if you want to avoid this one, if you have a clogged radiator or hoses, you need to replace them. You replace a clogged radiator with a new one, you replace the clogged hoses with new hoses, and after that, stop using water and start using coolant. And now, number 5. Okay, let me finish. This is P. P stands for poor engine lubrication. What simply means is that is when oil is not properly lubricating the engine. And what causes this? Over here, I've done a very simple illustration. This one is your oil sump. Over here, we have this is a strainer or a sieve. Let me just write an S to replace sieve. This one is a dipstick. And this is where now the oil is now being pumped to get to your engine and lubricate it properly. I also did a video concerning engine oil. And the purpose of engine oil is not just to lubricate the engine, but also help in cooling because it helps in heat dissipation. So if your engine is purely lubricated, that simply means that a lot of heat is not being able to be carried away. What results into that? Over here we have the strainer. And many other times maybe we do an engine rebuild. When we do an engine rebuild, we always use silicone to prevent any leaks, maybe from the oil pan or even the cylinder head, all that. We use silicone. However, when silicone is used in excess, over time due to heating, some chunks of it might fall off and drain into your sump or even into your oil ways. So what happens is simple. Those chunks of silicone, they will block the sieve. When they block the sieve, it simply means that now oil does not find its way up to lubricate your engine. So you'll always be checking the oil levels using your dipstick. You dip them in, the oil levels are okay. But however, your engine is overheating. That is simply because oil is being restricted from getting to your engine. So how do you go about it? Always confirm if it's a sieve that is clogged, replace the strainer. And if everything, just flush the entire oil, fill it up with new oil, and you will ensure proper engine lubrication. Now on to number 6, airlocks. I know you might wonder, airlocks and overheating, how do they relate? Now let's take an instance. You have a very small crack on one of your pipes in the cooling system. So what happens is that when the system is running, air may be sucked in. And now when air is sucked in, it results into the formation of bubbles. And now we all know bubbles are air pockets. So what happens is that these bubbles result into formation of airlocks. And now airlocks, they restrict the flow of coolant in your system, because an airlock is now more like a barrier you've put in the coolant system. So now the airlocks restrict the flow of the coolant in your system, and now that will result into overheating. So how do you go about it? Always ensure that your hoses are in good condition. And if you realize there's a crack, kindly take quick measures, replace the cracked hose. And you will realize that you'll have an ample time with your engine with no overheating at all. Now, number 7, gaskets. All right? Let me tell you something about gasket, especially the cylinder head gasket. It has specific places where the coolant has to pass through so that the coolant and oil do not mix. So if the gasket is improperly installed, as in maybe you took your car to a quack mechanic who does not know how to go about it, and they ended up fixing the gasket wrongly, it will cost you, because it simply means that the specific waterways where the coolant is supposed to pass through, there is no way through. And if there's no way through, it simply means that the coolant is not circulating as it should. And this will cost you because your car will overheat. And you all know the results of a car overheating. So kindly, these are the reasons. And now when you know the reasons, you know exactly how to go about in case you experience overheating and how to prevent your car from overheating. So there you have it. So kindly, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly consider subscribing. And these are just a few reasons as to what results into overheating. If you've got more reasons, kindly add them in the comment section below. And if you've got any issues with your car, visit us at Precision Automotive. We are located along Moringa Road in Kilimani. See you.